This is CBC Here and Now.
If there's anything that is needed of me, I can guarantee you I will never interfere with justice.
When charged with murder, his girlfriend was the Premier's daughter.
No reason for me not to appear, nothing to hide in any of this.
We are passionate, proud, and pissed off.
Bell Islanders blocked their new ferry from going to Fogo.
The building oozes history.
We're inside the Colonial building. It's under renovations, and we'll give you a tour. Find out why it's going to be years before the public will get inside.
Well, it'll be a windy but mild start for many across the island on Tuesday, but don't forget the warm jacket. Cold front moves through, temperatures tumble through the day. The details are coming up.
Ferry protesters on Bell Island are furious. They don't want their brand new ferry to head to Fogo Island.
Fogo's MV Veteran is out for repairs, so the province wanted to send the MV Legionnaire there. But as Here and Now's Jeremy Eaton reports, Bell Islanders are having none of it.
No, go to Fogo! No, go to Fogo!
The peaceful protest started Saturday, and the ferry issue has people fired up. They want to keep their new and bigger boat, not the older and smaller MV Flanders.
We are passionate, proud, and pissed off.
Valerie Ryan doesn't hold back when talking about the ferry situation on Bell Island. She is one of about 60 who have basically commandeered the MV Legionnaire, blocking anyone from driving onto the new $50 million ferry.
The message is we are accepting no concessions of any kind. We want the Flanders to go to Fogo, who are quite willing to take it. We want the Legionnaire to be here with the Beaumont Hamel.
With the new vessel tied up, people looking to commute to the mainland are starting their days earlier and earlier and earlier, lining up and hoping to get a spot.
So then their 8-hour workday is turning into 14, 16, 18 hours because they've got to go through the whole process again to get home in the evening.
The Flanders is operating on a load and go basis, but that vessel doesn't have a working elevator. Taxi driver Kathleen Sweeney says that's forcing sicker residents to be airlifted to St. John's.
My gentleman that I take over, he's in a wheelchair. He's not able to do stairs, so now they're going to airlift him to a certain spot of St. John's, and I have to figure it out from there.
When they made the devastating changes to the ferry service last week.
The ferry fight even found its way into Confederation Building today. Transportation Minister Steve Crocker offered up this explanation to try and appease protesters and the taxpayers of the province.
The reality is we're offering 18 runs starting at 5 a.m. That would cost the province approximately, throughout the duration, if this lasts till early in the new year, approximately $54,000. And the idea of changing the Flanders to being that first vessel in the morning would cost the province somewhere north of $200,000.
When asked how long the people here planned on blocking the wharf, the organizers of the protest said as long as it takes, meaning this blockade of cars here behind us could be here for quite a while. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, Bell Island.
There may be a break in the Courtney Lake homicide investigation, but what that might be isn't clear yet. This morning, police announced they'd update the case at lunchtime, only to abruptly postpone that without explanation. Lake's family says they met with the lead investigator this morning, and at his request, the news conference was postponed. Last week, police combed the woods in Bellevue where Lake's ex-boyfriend Phillips killed himself. The RNC says the search was connected to Lake's homicide, but no evidence was found.
Her Majesty's Penitentiary is still under lockdown tonight after an attempted escape. The St. John's prison went into lockdown mode after at least one inmate tried to break out around supper time on Friday. It's unclear how the incident unfolded or how many inmates were involved. The Justice Department will only say that corrections officers quickly responded to the attempted escape. The incident is under investigation. The highly anticipated first-degree murder trial of Brandon Phillips got underway at Supreme Court in St. John's today. Phillips is charged in connection with the death of 63-year-old Larry Wellman at the Captain's Quarters Hotel in 2015. It's a case that has an unusual connection to Premier Dwight Ball. Here and Now's Fred Hutton joins us live from our newsroom. Fred, what's the latest?
Anthony, more than 2 years after Larry Wellman was shot and killed while trying to stop
an attempted armed robbery at the captain's quarters. Jury selection in the case against his accused murderer finally got underway at Supreme Court. And it was a busy scene at Supreme Court. This tent was actually set up outside the court to provide cover for the 215 potential jurors who lined up for screening at the Brandon Phillips murder trial. Justice Valerie Marshall excused 99 people from the process for various reasons as they attempt to select the 12 jurors and the 2 alternates to hear the case. Now, Phillips was charged back in October of 2015 following a week-long manhunt after the shooting that killed 63-year-old Larry Wellman. He and his wife were in the hotel bar that night. Now, soon after his arrest, it was revealed that the accused, Brandon Phillips, was actually dating Jade Ball, who is Premier Dwight Ball's daughter. Now, we should mention as well that Ball and Phillips are no longer together, and that this connection actually prompted the Justice Department to bring in prosecutors from outside the province to avoid any potential conflict. Outside the House of Assembly today, the Premier was asked if he or his daughter will be called to testify, and here's what he said.
There's an issue here, and no, I have not been asked to. I've not been asked to testify, in this trial. I mean, it's a tragic event, as people have heard me say in the past. It's an unfortunate event, and if there's anything that is needed of me, I can guarantee you I will never interfere with justice. Daughter's doing great. She's now a new mother. Has moved on in her life, and as I said, I support the only daughter that I have, and certainly we have a lot of happy times, and she's living on the West Coast now. I get a chance to see her quite often. I get a chance to spend some time with my little granddaughter lately. Not as much as I'd like, of course, but we will get through this, and I'm sure the families will all get through this.
To hear the case, the jury selection process will resume in the morning with what's known as challenge for cause. That's when the Crown and defense lawyers actually have to agree on who gets selected for the jury. Now, given the number of people excused today and the fact that this is such a high-profile case, many more may be dismissed, and it's possible sheriff's officers will have to go out tonight or tomorrow to serve jury summons to random people in public. And we're showing you their feet as they're leaving the courthouse today because we're not permitted to identify any potential jurors or once they are actually picked for a jury. So it's likely going to be Wednesday at least before we start hearing any testimony in this trial. Reporting live for Here and Now, Fred Hutton, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it's quite the trial. Obviously, if you want more on that, go to our website, cbc.ca/NL. All right, let's check in with Ryan now. I think we're going to see a weather change of some kind.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess batten down the hatches.
For sure. Another windy event and a wet one. And the rain already starting to move in. Let's have a look at the board here where we've got special weather statements in effect for the Avalon, the Burin, Clarenville, Bonavista, Terra Nova down towards Conagra, that eastern, southeastern half of the island, where we could see upwards of 40 millimeters of rain, some gusty winds here as well, but the heaviest rain will be set for the southwest coast, up the west coast, and all the way up the northern peninsula. That's where we've already seen 50 millimeters, in fact, in Lanse-Claire on the in the Labrador side of the Straits. Wind warnings in effect for the northern peninsula as well, with gusts up to 110 kilometers per hour. But all along this west coast and southwest coast, we see the potential here for upwards of 50, even 60, even 70 millimeters locally. And in terms of the timing, again, heaviest rain over the west coast tonight in the northern peninsula. Watch your timeline here. Showers start to move in after midnight for eastern parts of Newfoundland, with the heaviest rain tomorrow morning through central, and then that moves through the morning into eastern parts of Newfoundland. Gusty southerly winds with a shift to lighter but still brisk and breezy northwest winds through Tuesday afternoon. That will usher in some much cooler temperatures. We're starting in the double digits, even teens for the eastern half of the island. We're finishing in the mid to low single digits. And we'll have your full forecast details coming up for the next 3 days in just a few minutes.
This is a picture of myself and Leonard on the day we got married.
He was this tall, strapping man, 6'6", and he was the kindest person ever. I knew him better than he probably knew himself. What did I miss? I should have known. I should have known.
4 federal by-elections are set for December, including one in Bonavista, Burin, Trinity. Justin Trudeau made the announcement yesterday. The parties haven't called for nominations, but several people have already expressed an interest in taking on the top job for Liberals, including Pete Soucy, Merv Wiseman, and Dale Foote. Former Cabinet Minister Judy Foote vacated the seat in September. She retired to spend more time with her family. She was elected to the House of Commons in 2008 and won the last election with nearly 82% of the vote.
An update tonight on a story that we brought you in September about 6-year-old Carter Churchill. He's deaf, nonverbal, and communicates through American Sign Language. His parents are fighting to get more support in the classroom for Carter and other children like him, and they brought that fight to the House of Assembly today. Here Now's Carolyn Stokes has been following the story and joins us now live from our newsroom. Carolyn, what happened today?
Well, Anthony, Carter and his parents, Todd and Kimberly Churchill, went to the Confederation building to present a petition to interim NDP leader Lorraine Michael. Now, they want Carter and the hundreds of other children in the province like him to have access to the same quality of education as children who can hear, and they feel right now that's not happening. Now, you may remember Carter from a story we did about a month ago. Carter has cerebral palsy. He was born deaf, and cochlear implants allow him to hear, but Carter is non-verbal and can only communicate through ASL, American Sign Language. Now, the problem is he gets 2 hours a day with a teacher of the deaf, someone he can actually have a two-way conversation with, and the rest of the school day he's with a teacher who can't understand him. Now, his parents say that's not fair, and it means he's not getting the same level of education as other hearing children in his class, and about 4,000 people agree with them. That's about how many signatures they gathered, and Carter delivered the petition into the hands of Lorraine Michael today.
He needs to have a full-time teacher of the deaf. Right now, Carter only receives 2 hours a day or 10 hours a week. And of course, all other students that are hearing are receiving 6 hours a day. And that seemed to be the absolutely overwhelming shock that people felt when we would tell them our story across the entire province. It's like, well, how could that be happening? And that's exactly how we feel. I don't know how that can be happening.
The school for the deaf was closed in 2010. There were commitments made by the government of the day that the levels of support would be maintained as they were at the school for the deaf, and that's just not the case now.
They've got to accept the fact that when we had the school for the deaf that was closed and should not have been closed in 2010, children like Carter received their education all day long with teachers who were trained to teach them. And now that is not the case.
So Lorraine Michael says government really needs to take a closer look at this issue to make sure all students are getting the same level of education, and maybe even consider reopening the school for the deaf. But for now, she'll present the petition in the House of Assembly and see where things go from there. Carolyn Stokes, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, from the outside, the renovations on Colonial building in St. John's look finished, but there is still lots of work to do on the inside. There are 2 tenders to be awarded to complete that work, which will take years. Here Now's Peter Cowan got a look inside today.
This is one of the most, if not the most significant building in the province's history, given the historical context of everything that happened here, all the decisions that were made when we were our own country, when we were Dominion, the loss of government happened here as well, and then right up until 1959. So we anticipate when this building gets complete that it will be very active in programming. It'll tell our political history, and there will be opportunities for different, just in the room that we're in today, this Legislative Council chamber would be a great venue for a small performance art series, lectures, and different venues.
This is one of the only rooms inside the Colonial building that they've actually restored to the original about 1880 finish level. And what they did in order to figure out what this was originally like is they had to peel back the layers of paint. So they went back, found the original layers of paint, and then were able to match that color and restore it. Another interesting thing is the actual wood finishes. They look wood, but this is actually a faux wood grain. And that was originally the way they designed the building, so that's the way they've restored it as well. The idea is they wanted to do one room in order to figure out what the cost would be for restoring these rooms, so now when they go out to tender, they have a better idea what the budget will look like.
Building oozes history. This is where the debates took place, this is where decisions were made. So for me, there's so much here that I think the people would love to come and see and learn about. We found bits and bobs of things in the building, ballots from an 1880 election unopened that were just lying in the attic, ballots from a referendum on prohibition were just lying around, champagne bottles in the walls, just quirky things that people left in the building that we just discovered and kind of went, wow, well, why is it here and where did it come from and things like that. But in terms of the building, there's always something every day we come down and see for a second or third time and go, oh, I didn't think of that, or I didn't notice that before. This building is full of surprises like that. A lot of people know this story, but how they brought in this painter who was serving time to paint the frescoes in both chambers, and they gave him some time off of his sentence for doing that. That's another great story in his building.
We don't have a set timeline as to when the building would open, as there were previous indications of the building will be completed by a specific time period. But with any historical building, you can run into issues that would happen that would delay a project.
Now, Anthony, one of the ideas that's come up is a downtown library, but Christopher Mitchellmore says that's not really practical. He says because of the size and age of the building, it's really not big enough.
Yeah, there have been rumors of the possibility of a library, but Mitchellmore is hoping that maybe there could be instead a small collection of books that would be related to political history and that kind of thing, and maybe a public space with internet access, and kind of a neat place to study considering all the history within those walls. Beautiful buildings.
Yeah, I've been in there myself before they started the reno. We did some election coverage from there, and it really, you had this sense of history.
You feel it.
Yeah, you really could.
Up next, the latest on the protests that have blocked the Legionnaire from leaving Belle Island.
And still to come, we'll explain why all these people with red hair gathered outside the rooms in St. John's this weekend.
On September 11th, the world experienced an unimaginable tragedy, but the passengers on flights grounded in Gander also experienced humanity at its finest. The 6 communities of Gander, Appleton, Glenwood, Lewisport, Norris Arm, and Gambo wrapped their arms around those who were simultaneously stranded and shocked. They offered unconditional love and service. Their compassion, generosity, and spirit are an inspiration to all.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, ferry woes are nothing new to this province. Last week, we reported on the $6 million ferry service for St. Brendan's with a population of 114, and now turmoil over the service for Bell Island and Fogo Island Change Islands. David Brazel is the MHA for Conception Bay East Bell Island and a former Minister of Transportation. Thanks very much for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, has this ferry dust-up put a wedge between the people you represent and the people on Fogo Island, Change Islands?
I think it could have, but I think we've gotten to a place where it hasn't now. It's not pitting one island against the other. Particularly some dialogue I've had back and forth with the mayor of Fogo and one of the representatives of their committee. This was about trying to find a solution that works for both. Unfortunately, the solutions that were presented to government, they never ever brought them back to the 2 respective committees to have a dialogue to say, look, you guys use the ferry service on a given day. We're into a unique situation here. It's a temporary situation. How can we use the assets we have to address your needs? What are your suggestions that are workable? And they may open up parameters that like we're restricted on our cash investments here, our hours of rest and these type of things. But the people best equipped to be able to do that are those ferry user committees and the people who use the ferries on a daily basis.
So was there good communication between those ferry committees and a joint presentation or proposal made to government?
There was zero. Here's how it all played out. The minister phoned me on Thursday morning and said, we're taking the Legionnaire. I gave him some suggestions as to how he could address his particular needs that would be workable for the people of Bell Island, and obviously I would think then would also be supportive to the people in Fogo Change Islands. When the minister then came out a couple of hours later, or his officials, with a schedule for the people of Bell Island, it dramatically reduced the ability for people to travel to and from, particularly in the morning when people are going to work or people are going for dialysis or they're going for cancer treatments. It would be impossible. People would have to come down 2 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning to get a number, like herding cattle, to be able to see if they could get on the first trip. If they didn't get on that one, they'd see if they get on the next one. And that's because the Beaumont Hamel, being the first vessel that they wanted to put in play, has half the capacity from a passenger point of view that the Flanders does, less than half. So as a result, it was impossible for that many people to get off Bell Island to get to work or to their medical appointments.
Now, I was speaking with the mayor of the town of Fogo, Wayne Collins, today, and he was saying they were happy enough to get the Flanders to work with the Beaumont Hamel, leave the Legionnaire in Bell Island, but he said government told him that was just too expensive. There are, I guess, collective agreements in place that make differences in wages. I mean, does it all boil down to money?
It may in this case, but it doesn't because they haven't been able to show to me. I mean, the crews are already on payroll. The vessels are already owned by the taxpayers in Newfoundland and Labrador. They're already would be put in play. There would be very minimal investment. There might be a little trouble.
So why would government do this?
This because they thought they could just impose this without any dialogue. It was just imposed without them having any understanding of what the impact would have. And it would have an impact financially on people. There's people potentially could lose their jobs, not getting to their workplace on time.
I'm just wondering, what would you like to see as a resolution to this immediate problem?
Well, there was a solution offered. The original solution was, let's go back to the schedule we had prior to the Legionnaire coming, which was still a reduction in what we have right now, but people understood that, in which the Flanders leaves the first 3 trips in the morning to ensure they can get people to and from work and to their doctor's appointments and any other service that they need to get to as part of the process. Well, all we were asking was to flip the Beaumont for the Flanders, which was always the schedule. They didn't have to make up a new schedule. It existed. It existed for 10 years. It was very simple to put it in play.
Going to get a resolution today?
Well, you know, I went after the minister on various talk shows this morning. I went after him in the House of Assembly when I asked some questions. I now understand he's going to meet with representatives of the Ferry Users Committee from Bell Island and a member spokesperson for the protesters. Still hasn't engaged Fogo or Change Islands, from my understanding, as part of the process. So there still has to be some discussion there, because the people of Fogo Island, Change Islands, were also open to having something that's workable for them, knowing this is only a temporary issue that will be fixed in the next 5 or 6 weeks, so that wouldn't be a long-term solution. They'd go back to what we had, the veteran in play and the Legionnaire in play. Unfortunately, you know, we've had to force their hand. Unfortunately, people had to go to the extent of, you know, a protest. Thank God it was, you know, a very professional, peaceful protest. But now the minister has to step up to the plate and find a solution that works for both of these communities.
David Brazel, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Up next, a person who lived through resettlement explains why he now thinks it's a necessary thing.
How one fishing family dealt with the cod moratorium 25 years ago. An archival special, Sunday at 12:30 and Monday at 7.
This weather update is brought to you by the Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 400 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Well, Well, just before we talk about the weather, we want to go back a day. And if you were anywhere near the rooms yesterday, you might have seen something highly unusual.
Yeah, about 100 people of all ages came together, and the reason they came together was to paint the town red, so to speak.
Yeah, nice. Yep, yesterday was International Redhead Day, and if these photos are any indication, it was a pretty successful event. Organizer John Michael Lannon says redheads have big shoulders because they're often bullied as kids. He also said it's important to celebrate redheaded people because there are fewer born each generation as we go along in time here. So,
oh, those two little girls, they were sweet. They could be in the tourism commercials.
I love that photo.
There.
Oh,
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I saw Archie Andrews in the crowd there. That's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looked like a great day for it, which was good. And we had a pretty nice day today across most parts. But boy, look at those temperatures. I mean, we're well into November now, and it was 24 degrees in Greenwood, Nova Scotia this afternoon. The high 18 in Halifax, 14 in Corner Brook, and temperatures, again, very, very mild coming in with this air mass that's on the way in. 9 degrees in St. John's, and again, yeah, we're getting the warm temps. We're also getting the rain and, of course, the wind. As I mentioned off the top, rainfall warnings and wind warnings are in effect for the west coast, the southwest coast, and we have special weather statements in effect for eastern parts of Newfoundland. This weather system is going to be the main player over the next 24 hours or so, no question about that. And as we time things out, we'll show you the radar, and you can see some of those heaviest rains working now onto the west coast of the island. Corner Brook just starting to push onto the Port-au-Port as well. This rain will come in at times heavy tonight. Moving into St. John's and eastern Newfoundland as we roll into after midnight. And have a look. This is the latest Canadian forecast model run, which has been pretty consistent through the day and even into yesterday, with upwards of 20 to 40 millimeters for the Avalon, possibly the Burin Peninsula. The potential for those 50, 60 millimeter amounts, again, will be the southwest coast and up the west coast locally, hence the rainfall warnings which are in effect there. In terms of the cold front, this is going to be really our main player. Watch as it rolls into western Newfoundland tonight with those periods of rain at times heavy. By 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's warm in the east. Temperatures are already starting to fall in the west as winds shift to northwesterly. And so, yeah, this is a general snapshot of around 6, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Double digits and teens in the east, single digits in the west, already -1 in the Straits and starting in the -12 range for western parts of Labrador. As we roll throughout the day, that cold front will wander eastward and falling temperatures in behind. It looks like a temperature drop through the morning hours in Gander, Bonavista around lunchtime, St. John's likely early to mid-afternoon. We'll see those winds shift to northerly and the temperatures really drop from around 14, 15 to 5 degrees by home time, and you can see where we're near the freezing mark by home time across the rest of the province. Even some sunshine starting to break through for the west coast. Late day sun, perhaps just before sunset. Again, it's so early now. For central parts of Newfoundland, still cloudy in the east, but that rain will clear around supper time, and you can see highs near -6 for Lab West with a chance of seeing some flurries. The winds stay northerly and northeasterly as we roll into the Wednesday time period, and so that's going to be keeping temperatures cool. We're talking about highs along the northeast coast, including St. John's, in that 3-4 degree range, and we're staying below freezing for highs across Labrador West, Happy Valley Goose Bay, and Nain. And as we roll into the Thursday time period, another system approaching from the south may clip the Avalon and the Burin Peninsula with some late day showers, so keeping an eye on that. Pretty quiet elsewhere, maybe some scattered flurries rolling into Labrador City. Again, another high below zero there, and we'll keep an eye on the timing of this system as we move over the next 48 hours or so. Also a bigger system brewing for later week, especially for Labrador. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Recently, we brought you stories about the high costs of keeping small communities going, from the $6 million ferry service in St. Brendan's for just over 100 people, to the decision of residents in Williams Harbour to pack it in and move on. The question is, do we need a new resettlement program? Our next guest is somebody who's written on that subject, and he was resettled himself. Don Downer, welcome to Here and Now.
Appreciate your having me.
So give me a sense of your own story. What was your story of resettlement? Where were you?
A long time ago, 1959, we were resettled from Indian Islands, which is close to Fogo Island, and we moved to Lewisport. My father and I took down the house, sort of board for board, and moved it in a boat, including ourselves and everything we owned.
How difficult was it?
Not easy, especially since it was a two-story house, and we took it down over a year, and so we had to eventually move downstairs fully, and of course also lug all the lumber to what was the government wharf and put it aboard a boat.
Don, what's the impact on people when they are resettled?
Well, I think it's a feeling of emptiness. People are they're kind of devastated to a point. There's some feeling of anticipation. I know in Lewisport, going from a one-room school for me to a seven-room school, which was huge, was a pretty exciting thing for a 15-year-old. So it can be a combination of good and bad feelings.
You mentioned that with respect to your parents, for instance. We have a picture of you and your dad. Was it harder on your father than your mother? Because you've written about this.
I think it was harder on my father. I'm not quite sure why that is. Obviously, there's a difference in the gender, but in Dad's case, it took him much longer to get over it. My mother was anticipating the move. She'd had some medical problems a few years earlier, and she anticipated that it was going to be much better for her and for the family. She saw educational opportunities, better services in general, and I think she adjusted to it much quicker.
The traditional view of what happened in resettlement is that it was traumatic for people in those communities, and you for a long time have held that point of view, and yet in 2017, looking back, do you still feel the same way?
No, I don't. What I would say is that I changed from being totally against the notion of centralization or resettlement. We came in under the centralization from 54 to about 65.
Right.
It was certainly a time when we were pretty upset with the officials that were, as far as we could see it, turfing us out. Until I get to today, when I feel that, you know, maybe it wasn't done always properly and with the greatest of feeling, but I think it was the right thing to do, and I still do today.
And there were benefits, right, with education, health services?
Yes, I would have left the small community anyway. I was heading for university. I knew that fairly early. But, you know, there's no question about it. In addition to the fact, of course, it's going to save quite a lot of money.
Do you think the governments today have the stomach for something like resettlement?
I don't think they ever did. I think that governments generally see these kinds of social upheavals as something that is not good politically, and it hasn't been for any of the governments starting with 49.
Right, whether they're conservative or liberal.
Absolutely.
Well, Don Downer, appreciate your thoughts and insight. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Up next, a tragedy on the other side of the country puts the spotlight on ammonia, a gas used in many arenas across our province.
Saturday is Remembrance Day. Join me, Anthony Germain, for live coverage on CBC Radio 1 as well as Facebook Live. It all starts at 10:55 Island Time, 10:25 in most parts of Labrador. That's Remembrance Day coverage here at the National War Memorial in downtown St. John's this Saturday morning.
Welcome back once again. Well, hockey, figure skating and curling season is upon us. Families will be heading to rinks by the tens of thousands over the next chilly months. For the most part, the ice in those rinks is made thanks to ammonia. And a recent leak at a rink in Ferry, BC that killed 3 men has thrust ammonia into the headlines. Glenn Payette reports.
As a Zamboni driver puts the finishing touches on new ice at the largest rink in the province, Mile 1 Center, in a small room nearby, ammonia-filled compressors work their magic to make that ice possible. Steve Beckwith is the manager of building operations at Mile 1. He's been working around ammonia for 40 years.
For me, I feel quite safe. Doesn't bother me at all.
But ammonia has its risks. Service NL says exposures in excess of the allowable limit, 25 parts per million or ppm, can cause headaches, coughing, and difficulty breathing. It continues, prolonged exposure to high concentrations of ammonia can lead to pulmonary edema, an accumulation of fluid in the lungs which can be fatal. Something that became clear in the Fernie ammonia leak. The incident is still under investigation. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, there are 60 hockey and curling rinks spread throughout the province. 51 of them use ammonia as a coolant. All the rinks fall under provincial rules which require regular inspections of the compressors and other equipment.
They come in once a year to inspect our equipment. Every 5 years we have to change out our safety valves, and that's a requirement by law.
Beckwith says even a small amount of ammonia in the compressor room trips the emergency response system.
Once it hits 25 parts per million, an exhaust fan will come on. It will start exhausting any of the ammonia fumes out of the building immediately. I'm here now 7 years. I have yet to smell ammonia out in the quarter.
But even with the safeguards, it's clear there is a risk to using ammonia. So why use it?
One of the reasons why we use ammonia is because it's one of the best refrigerants you can use regardless of efficiency. So that means a lower cost to run, plus a lower cost of insulation at the beginning.
If there was a catastrophic failure of the system at Mile 1, a leak of 250 parts per million or greater, Beckwith says response would be quick.
Security, the ushers, all our people, all our staff have been trained in emergency preparedness and evacuation plans. So we do have a written plan.
Mile 1 can hold more than 6,000 people. The building can be evacuated in minutes. The compressor room has inner and outer doors to seal in the gas and exhaust fans to vent it to the outdoors. Emergency equipment is on hand for small leaks and for larger ones. And if there is a big one, the fire department is called in.
The fire department now takes ownership of the building. They will decide whether or not we need to dump the ammonia system.
That would mean venting ammonia gas into the atmosphere. Ammonia is lighter than air. Don Byrne is the deputy fire chief for the St. John's Regional Fire Department.
Ammonia is very hazardous.
But Byrne says he doesn't think the public has much to be concerned about.
I don't believe they do. Most of these things are inspected on a regular basis. If you go to any of your arenas around here and look at the housekeeping around those arenas, you'll see that most of these are very well kept, and that extends right into their maintenance of their equipment.
But the deaths in Fernie have shown that ammonia cannot be taken lightly. One of the things that stands out about ammonia is that it stinks. It's referred to as being self-alarming. It has a pungent aroma, so that if you smell it, you know you should get out of there. All rinks that use ammonia as a coolant are supposed to have an emergency response plan. If you're wondering about the rink you use, check with local management. Glenn Payette, CBC News, St. John's.
You don't often think about the chemistry involved in making ice. You just sort of take the ice for granted, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately there was those 3 deaths in Fernie, BC, but it's focused on safety once again, which is always a good thing.
On the radar. Another state in the U.S. is in mourning following yet another mass shooting.
The details when we come back. Time now to introduce you to our athlete of the day, and there he is, Adam Noer from Cavendish. Adam had lots of fun over the summer playing soccer in South Dildo.
Yeah, Adam loved playing goalie and running around with his friends. Adam also takes part in swimming as well as gymnastics.
Way to go, Adam. You're today's young athlete of the day.
I think running skills are in order for this story you're going to tell us about.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it has been a terrible year for wasps.
Yeah. I want to start doing this.
Exactly. We've had a lot of nice fall days, and it seems like every nice fall day over the last at least maybe 6-7 weeks, my backyard's been buzzing. They're up in the trees. The wasps are everywhere, and I thought maybe I was one of the only ones until I posted this picture on Facebook and asked everybody.
Oh my.
So this is Ted Nolan. He found this wasp nest near Gander recently. It's 2 feet long and 3 feet around. That's a big nest.
Yeah, it's a giant bag of anaphylaxis.
I'm guessing when Terry is the fellow's name. I'm sure when Terry found it, it was empty.
I hope so.
Hopefully. But anyway, with the note that I posted and Terry's picture, a ton of people have been posting about similar experiences where they've been nesting everywhere around the houses. We've had colleagues here who have had them get into the house as well.
Yeah, I think it is weather conditions, but I don't know exactly what that is.
Well, it's been a great fall, so it sounds like it's been ideal conditions. Anyway, if you want some tips on how to keep them away from your house, folks actually been putting up fake nests to get them away from the house.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
some really good tips and a great discussion there on my Facebook page, so you can check that out there. All right, as we look at some of this beautiful weather that folks have been talking about, I think that have been bringing in the wasps a little bit more maggoty than normal this year. Look at eastern Newfoundland again, the warm spot once again. 15 in Fredericton right now, 16 in Halifax, and the west, not so much. The cold air, -3 in Fort Mac, -8 in Calgary, -11 in Regina, 6 degrees in Toronto, and you can see where that jet stream here has been, yes, riding to our west, but it is moving this direction, and that cold air is going to be moving in for us over the next 24 hours, where we have a temperature drop on the other side of this cold front, rain moving in as we speak, the gusty winds, and this will all track eastward tonight. By Tuesday morning, the heaviest rain over central parts of Newfoundland, moving into eastern Newfoundland. And again, it's a shift from southerly winds to a northwest wind in behind. Gusts 60, 70, even 80 kilometers per hour ahead of this cold front. Not quite as strong, but still some gusts in the 50, 60 kilometer per hour range behind it, ushering in that much cooler air mass as temperatures go from as warm as mid-teens early morning to low single digits by tomorrow evening. Now, Wednesday morning, very quiet start, bit of cloud cover kicking up into the afternoon over central and eastern Newfoundland, but overall it stays dry. Now for Thursday, area of high pressure fades off to the north. We are going to be watching a system approaching from the south. Forecast models have still been at odds as to how close that tracks and how quickly it moves in. But right now I do have showers for Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening in my forecast for the southeast. Meanwhile, a cold front working into Lab West will throw a few flurries into the mix there. And so there's a quick look, in case you missed it earlier, of the next three, where we will see those temperatures dropping through the day on Tuesday. Wednesday, again, a little on the cool side, starting to recover a little bit temperature-wise, a degree or two, but still cooler than where we should be for the east, but closer to seasonal for central and towards Labrador as well. Now, long-range setup. So here's our system we're watching for Thursday afternoon, but as we move into the long range, it's this system that's going to be the big player for the end of the week. It moves in from the southwest, wrapping all kinds of moisture in from the south, and this is going to be an interesting setup for you folks in Labrador. We've got snow on the northern edge of this, some strong winds as well. This could be another accumulating snow event across the big land as we roll through Friday into Saturday. On the island, some rain, and then a big cool down for Saturday and into Sunday, with a little area of high pressure tucking in to clear us out. So the weekend would be far from a washout with this setup, but Sunday being the better day of the two, is still some lingering showers, I think, early on. Saturday in the east, clearing out. Again, timing will be everything. We're still a few days out, but you can see that warm push does come in Friday with the temperature drop through Saturday into Sunday. And into Labrador, again, normals this time of year around -3 in Lab West, pretty much riding that mark into the Thursday, Friday time period. Another cool shot coming for the weekend, closer to seasonal for you folks in Happy Valley Goose Bay, with a snow rain potential for Friday.
Well, turning now to national and international news, a house of worship is now a crime scene after a ghastly horror. Yesterday, a man entered a Texas church and started shooting during a Sunday service. 26 people were killed and 20 more wounded before the shooter was chased down. He was found dead by police. Today, as officials pieced together a better picture of the suspect, they provided more details of the man believed responsible for 26 murders.
The suspect, we can confirm, is Devin Patrick Kelly. He is 26-year-old white male. The cause and manner of the death in this with the shooter will be determined by a pathologist during the autopsy. However, investigators found evidence at the scene that indicates the subject may have died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This was not racially motivated. It wasn't over religious beliefs. There was a domestic situation going on within the family and the in-laws.
Investigators say the shooter's mother-in-law attended the Sutherland Springs Church and say she received threatening text messages from Kelly before the attack. Officials also confirmed today that no terrorism investigation has been opened.
Some dramatic video from Abbotsford, British Columbia. It shows an incident which saw 2 officers injured. The details are still scarce at this point. Witnesses reported hearing shots fired around midday near an auto parts store. Police now have 1 suspect in custody, and they say there is no risk to the public at this time.
All right, well, a little look at the 7-day at first, and then your viewer picture of the day. Right on the ball here on a Monday. Guess where this was taken? Obviously, with some caribou, there's only a few possibilities on the island. Can you guess where this herd was gathered last week?
Welcome back, everyone. Now file this under utterly adorable. The Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter in Smithers, BC is raising money to build a winter home for 2 river otters rescued over the summer.
They were found dehydrated and malnourished on a highway near Prince George. This was back in June, and they've been at the shelter ever since. Staff want to build an enclosed swimming area for the pups so they can swim during the winter. The hope is the animals can be rehabilitated and perhaps released into the wild next spring.
Aren't they the cutest animals? They always look like they're playing.
They are adorable. They're adorable. They can also tear your flesh off, too.
Yeah, you don't want to get too close to the adorable otters.
Well, it is wildlife.
That's true. That's true.
Sharp claws.
Speaking of wildlife, our viewer picture of the day today featured some wildlife. Now, if you were paying attention, as Debbie pointed out, pretty big clue with the at the start of the picture here. You can see on the edge where the Port-au-Port Peninsula is squeaking through there, but a beautiful shot there. And this picture was taken late last week, and it was along the Trans-Canada Highway, right near that Burgeo cutoff where you would take the road down to Burgeo, 480 there. And yeah, so lucky to get this beautiful shot was Kay Short near St. George's, and what a great picture.
It is lovely. I remember growing up, we used to have reports of caribou herds like that down the southern shore.
Yeah.
Lots of animals, and they would cross the highway and, you know, bring the traffic to a stop. But now they're over on the west coast, thankfully.
And I wonder whether that'd be the same herd that often people will send pictures from the Buckins area. I'm sure they do travel a lot, right? It wouldn't be, it's not that far, but anyway, great picture. Thanks, Kay.
Magnificent animals.
Yes,
gorgeous.
definitely.
Well,
go ahead.
You going to recap something?
Well, just to say, again, when you wake up tomorrow morning and it's so mild and you think, oh, okay, I'll just head out here, make sure you grab the coat because 15, 14 to start the day, 4 or 5 to finish the day by the time we are ready for home.
With lots of wind.
With, some pretty gusty winds as well, mainly in the morning, but even to the afternoon.
That's our show. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye now.